And we're live.
Hi, guys.
Hello, everyone.
So my name is Sahar.
Yeah.
I was born in San Francisco. Originally, I'm from Iran, but I've lived in Italy for many years, 15 actually, and now I live in Bologna.
Yeah. And I'm Kendra. I'm from Seattle. I've lived in Bologna for only 2 years, almost 2 years, But I'm from Seattle. And what else? I'm 29 years old, and I work
I never
at
tell them my age.
it's
a
interesting.
secret.
It's a secret. I'll tell
So
my age.
Seattle is a city.
Seattle is a city.
Mm-hmm.
And so is San Francisco.
So is San Francisco. I don't know which one is bigger, though. Seattle or San Francisco?
I don't know.
Would be maybe, I don't know.
Good question.
Good question. We have to Google that later.
Yeah, I would think maybe they're very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Who knows? But we have one viewer. We have someone watching us right now. What else? What can we say? So where do you live? We live in Bologna. Do you live in a city, town, or village?
I've lived in many places, most of them cities. Like Tehran in Iran is the capital, and it's the largest city. Counts 11 million people living there. Wow. It's a very big city. And the only time I lived in a town was when I was, I think, 7. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever lived in a town. Only cities. Hey, it's my mom.
Hi, good morning. I don't know what time it is in Seattle, though.
It is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 a.m.
7. Oh, what's the time difference?
Now I think it's 8 hours.
8 hours.
Because of they moved their clocks, I think, forward. Yeah.
When?
Like last week.
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware of that.
It's a different time.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Well, Cheryl, where do you live, Mom? Where do you live? Do you live in a city, town, or village?
Well, I mean, if she lives in Seattle, maybe does she live?
We don't live in Seattle.
Okay.
I say Seattle, but we don't live in Seattle.
Oh, I mean, I also say San Francisco, but it's not San Francisco. Yeah. It's a county in San Francisco.
What city were you actually born in?
Martinez.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know that one.
It's a county like 20 minutes away from the city, San Francisco. Okay.
Yeah. Really. Similar to, we live in Kent. Yeah.
So Cheryl says, I live in a small city, Kent, Washington. So it's a city.
Mm-hmm. But it's outside of Seattle.
How far away is it from Seattle?
But normally it's about a 30-minute drive.
Okay.
But it depends on traffic.
Mm-hmm. Is it rainy?
Yes. Very rainy, very cold. So I don't know if we're going to have other people joining us of where they live. Do they live in a city, town, or village? But we can look at our focus today. Why not?
Describing a city. And because, today we're describing a city.
That's why we wanted to ask, where do you live? Do you live in a city, town, or village? And my mom said we are supposed to have sunshine today.
Well, that's nice. I mean, it's almost spring. So here in Italy, it's very sunny.
Or in Bologna.
Bologna. I'm sorry. In Bologna, in that region. It's very sunny today. Unfortunately, we can't go actually see it.
I went outside today.
Oh, yeah.
I went to the grocery store or the supermarket. I went to the supermarket today.
Yeah. I went there yesterday, but also yesterday was very hot.
Yeah, also today. Mm-hmm. I had my coat open.
Really? I didn't even have a coat. I was like, at this point.
I didn't know what the weather was like. I've not
It's
been
it's
outside.
crazy here now, the weather. I don't know how it is in other places. Like in Italy, it's going crazy these past years.
Oh, yeah, it's much hotter. Much hotter.
Much
Let's
hotter.
look. What do we have today, Sahar? You want to read our objectives?
Yeah, so describing a city. In this focus activity, describing cities, there is, there are, is, are there, negative forms.
Exactly. So we're going to be describing our cities a lot today. But first, let's see. I don't know how much participation we'll have, but we're going to match the word to the picture. The words we have park, train station, university, hospital, museum, castle, and zoo. Careful with the last two. Castle and zoo.
Exactly. We don't
You want
pronounce
to say them?
T. Well, we are both American, so we pronounce
Yeah.
it similarly.
So castle would sound like castle. No T.
There is a city in Germany that is called Kassel. Actually,
Oh, really?
yeah. I think it's in the south west part of Germany.
Of
I
Germany.
think.
There's a city called Castle. All right. Well, if people want to tell us what A, B, C, D, E, F, and G are, please let us know. We'll chat here a little bit and wait for maybe a response. Now we have only one viewer.
And it's your mom.
Maybe. It's either my mom or it's Lisa.
Okay. So I imagine that in a big city, all of these exist.
Yeah.
Though maybe not the zoo.
Yeah. And I mean, there are zoos in Seattle, but they're, I think, outside the city. We have other, like, trying to think. I don't remember the names of the zoos. I forgot.
Do
I
they
don't
have
remember the
names
names.
apart from
Yeah.
zoo?
Yeah.
I just call it zoo. I mean,
Like, we have Point Defiance Zoo. There we go. That's one. Point Defiance
how do
Zoo.
you write that? Point Defiance?
Defiance. Defiance. Point Defiance.
Wow,
Point
this is such
Defiance
a
Zoo.
strange name for a zoo.
Yeah, I don't know why. Oh, thanks, Mom. A is a train station.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe she is our only viewer now.
But it's correct.
God. A is a train
Great job,
station.
Shell.
Good. Thank you for your participation.
It's a train station.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I personally, for 1 year, I commuted. I went from one city to another every day for university.
From Verona to Bologna.
From Verona to Bologna. It
Wow.
was the worst year.
How long is the train? It's an hour and a half, right?
It's an hour and a half if you take the slow train.
Okay.
But I always took the fast train, and it took me about 50 minutes.
50
minutes. But then you have to also consider waking up before and getting to the train station and then arriving in Bologna and taking another bus to go to university. So I'm not a big fan of train stations.
No. But I mean, I do wish though, in like Seattle in the United States, we had more trains. Even just like a metro. A metro is so useful.
In Seattle, you don't have it?
I mean, we now have I've not been home for so long, I'm forgetting the names of everything. I think we have, it's called like the Sound Rail. So there is like a train that commuters use to get like from cities like my city into Seattle. But it's really only that train. Like there's not Like all the trains just go to Seattle if there is a train.
All the streets lead to Rome.
All the streets lead to Rome. It's yeah. So we don't have a ton of public transportation options, especially outside the city.
Okay.
But even in the city, like, yeah, there are buses. Yes, there is what is it called? The Sounder train? I forget what it's called. Light rail? It's like a light rail
Okay.
train.
So the
Yeah,
transportation isn't very good in Seattle.
I mean, in the United States in general.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, in cities like New York, they have the subway, so that's good. San Francisco,
We have the cable cars.
you have the cable cars and the buses, but that's about
it, yeah.
that's about it.
Yeah, but walking in San Francisco is so difficult. You need to be an athlete to be
True,
able to
because of
walk
all of
around
the
San
hills.
Exactly.
Should
I
we-
remember the last time I went there, it was very like my parents are very lazy, so they didn't want to walk that much.
Yeah.
So I was lucky. But if it were for me, I would rather walk. And the problem is that I like to walk so much, I don't realize that then I hurt myself.
You overexert yourself.
Anyway,
Happens. Let's see what B is. We'll
B
show
is,
them.
well, guessed it, university.
Yay!
Exactly.
University, where Sahara is still attending.
I am supposed to graduate the 2nd of April, but they canceled.
Yay! They canceled it.
They canceled it, so I don't know when I'm gonna graduate.
Well, as
Technically,
soon as the quarantine is over.
technically, I finished everything, so
Okay. Good.
yeah,
Congratulations.
it's basically just out there. I graduated, but they haven't
Not
celebrated
officially.
it yet. Exactly.
Okay. Makes sense. Well, what do you think is C, Sahar?
I see a lot of paintings, so it
Yeah.
must be a museum.
Ding, ding, ding. Very good.
For 1 second, I was like, maybe it's not.
It's not a museum.
Do you like museums, Kendra?
I do. I love museums. I studied
Because you
art
studied art,
history.
yeah.
Yeah. I love
Well,
museums.
So you prefer art museums?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I instead prefer natural history.
Natural
museum.
history museums. I mean, I'm like open to all museums. I think natural history museums are really exciting too, but art just has a different place. It's always
your
cool.
heart.
Yeah, in my heart. It's always cool to go into an art museum and then I see something that I studied, which I'm always like,
I feel the same way. Exactly. I feel the same way, but with history mostly.
Yeah.
Because with
interesting.
art, I prefer to interpret myself.
Okay.
Yeah. And with history, it's just facts.
Yeah. Well, art history, though, it combines the two.
Together.
It does. Especially for, because I prefer more like ancient, either ancient Greek, ancient Rome, or
yeah.
Italian
Amazing.
Renaissance. And during those periods, if we have someone 2 to 3 watching this, they're not going to follow this conversation, but that's okay. In those periods, everything that was painted was normally commissioned. So you see a lot of the social influence from that time in the artwork.
Yeah.
Which is always cool. But what about D?
Oh, lovely animals.
Lemurs.
Zoo.
It's a zoo. Be careful with your pronunciation. Zoo. Zoo.
It's like not double O, but U.
Ooh. You have to make a circle. Ooh.
Zoo.
Good, sorry.
Thank you. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were teaching me.
I might as well. It's you and one other person. E, what do we think is E?
E is, well, I mean, Seattle is famous for it.
Grey's Anatomy.
For Grey's Anatomy. So hospital?
Hospital. Hospital.
Hospital.
Yeah, get that H. Hospital. Okay.
Like my
An
name,
S?
Sahar.
Sahar. It's a little more difficult when it's in the middle.
Exactly.
Sahar.
Very good,
And
exactly.
S?
And F, actually, this is also in Germany, and
Oh.
the name it's Neuschwanstein. Very difficult, I know.
Wow. Say that again.
Neuschwanstein.
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 And
Is that
it's
better?
basically, well, of course, it's a cat. It's a
It's
castle,
a castle.
and it's the first idea that came to mind when creating Cinderella's castle.
Ooh.
Yeah,
What was
basically
it again?
they
Neuschwanstein. No?
Neuschwanstein.
Neuschwanstein.
Oh, German words. And then they say English is difficult.
Neuschwanstein. That's hard. Okay.
It's in
And
the
so
south also.
it's in the south. Okay. So obviously the last one is park. Park. All of the parks are closed.
Really? But it's
Yeah.
outdoors.
I heard the park near my house is closed.
Oh, no.
I think because they don't want people walking around they should only be going outside because they absolutely need to go
Oh, because
outside.
I thought that people could still go jogging, running. So parks are the best place to go to run to.
I heard they were closed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see. Whoops, too fast.
Oh, nice.
So, what's in
What?
your city, Sahar?
Okay, which city?
You choose.
I'm gonna talk about
Verona.
Tehran.
Tehran, okay.
Yeah, they know about Verona. I'm gonna tell them about Tehran. Tehran has a lot of 11 million people again, a lot of train stations, a lot of universities, and they're not all the same University of Tehran. Like different universities. Yeah, a lot of museums that are actually old castles.
Oh.
So, yeah, because now it's a Islamic Republic, so we have the president. Before we had the king.
Okay.
So we have a lot of castles that are transformed into museums, history museums.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. That sounds cool. I like that.
It's if I manage to show you later, the castles are so beautiful, like royalty beautiful.
Okay,
I think
you'll have to show me.
I would even say more beautiful than Versailles.
Really?
But it's me.
That's Sahar saying that.
That's me saying. And there is, I think there is at least one zoo.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you? Sorry?
I said, is there a park?
There are also many parks.
Okay.
Because the city is right below a mountain.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so also those mountains, it's not one mountain, it's a lot of mountains. And those mountains are also some parks that you could go to see the city from above.
Okay, very nice. Let's see. I'm going to try and use only there is. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
There in Seattle, we'll talk about Seattle. There is a zoo. I'm pretty sure. There is, I'm pretty sure. There is a museum. There is a university. There is a hospital. There is a park. I think there is a train station. I'm going to say yes. But there isn't a castle.
No castle? I mean...
Not in Seattle.
You're in the United States, first of all.
No castles in the United States.
Yeah, and Seattle is a very new city, isn't it?
Newer, yeah. I think Washington was the 48th state. So,
ooh,
yeah,
one of the last ones.
One of the last of the continental U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And then I forget if it was Alaska and then Hawaii or Hawaii then Alaska. I think Alaska then Hawaii.
I don't know that.
You should know. You studied history.
I should know.
You
I
should
didn't
know.
I didn't study the history of the United States because there is no history.
There's not a lot. There's not a lot, that's for sure. Good. And did you say what there isn't in your city?
It's impossible to say what there isn't.
Because you have all of this.
We have everything.
Okay. What about in Verona?
In Verona, there isn't a zoo.
Okay.
Pretty sure. Not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure there isn't a zoo.
Yeah, there isn't a zoo in Bologna.
Either.
No.
I think there is an aquarium. No.
In Bologna?
Maybe I'm mistaken with another city.
No, I don't think in Bologna. No zoo, no aquarium, but there's a museum, there's a university, there's a train station, there's a hospital. There isn't a castle in Bologna. There is a park.
There is a park. There is a beautiful park in Bologna that it's called Giardini Margherita. It's amazing. Springtime, it's the best time to go there.
Yeah, of course. I miss Giardini Margherita. I want to go outside. I want to go to the park.
You can open the window.
Okay. I can. I do have a garden, but it's not my...
It's a whole building's garden.
Yes. So I live not inside, but next to Palazzo Albergati in Bologna. And Palazzo Albergati is now a museum.
Oh, wow.
So the garden is the garden of the Palazzo, which is the museum technically. So we're not allowed, we can't go into the garden.
Interesting thing
Yeah.
that is we don't say palace in English in this case. For palazzo, we say building.
Oh. But it is a palace,
because a palace is like a Cinderella's palace.
Yes, a palace is very big.
It's like a false friend. I wanted to point out the difference. You say building.
Yeah, it's a building. It's not really a palace. I mean, no.
You're looking at it now?
I'm looking. I can see it from my...
Wow, that's pretty.
From my window. Yeah, I see the palazzo and the garden.
The palazzo. You can at least go to the garden.
No, I can't.
Oh, no, you can't even?
No, because the garden is the palazzos.
I thought it was... Oh, no, well, museums are closed. What the hell, yeah.
Yeah, we have a groundskeeper, like a handyman that works for the palazzo and everything around it. Because like the palazzo is here, and then my building is here, so they're connected. Like it was like
the wall.
Yeah, I was told my building was the old stable for the horses and for the palazzo.
Wow. Do you know like which when was it a stable?
No, I don't remember. Hi, Lisa.
Hey.
Also, Monique. Hi, Monique.
Oh, Monique lives in a beautiful city.
Tell us, Monique.
Yeah. Is it Bologna?
It's Bologna. I think it's Bologna. Actually, we wanted to use this slide for you all of our viewers, to ask us questions about our hometowns using is there. For example, Sahar, in Verona, is there a castle?
There is a castle. Because there used in the past, there was a very rich family called Scaligeri. Yeah.
Okay, so they had a castle. All right. Ask me a question, Sahar.
Is there maybe we can use word that it isn't in the list.
Yeah.
Okay. So is there a vet?
A what?
A vet.
A vet, veterinarian.
Yes, a vet in Seattle.
Yes, there is a veterinarian in Seattle. Veterinarian, if anyone's wondering, is an animal doctor. Veterinarian or vet. Animal doctor. I think I spelled it right. Veterinarian, vet, animal doctor. And we have a question from Monique. Yeah.
Monique
you,
asks me if there is a zoo in Tehran. Yes, there is. I've been to it actually once, and I really think there's only one zoo in Tehran.
Only one.
Only one.
I think there's another zoo in Seattle, and I don't remember. There's Point Defiance, and there's a second one where you it's not a zoo for like foreign animals. It's more of the animals that are
Domestic animals?
No, like animals that are more local for the environment. No. Like you can see like mountain goats and moose and so it's animals from the Pacific Northwest from my area. And you get in this little like train car thing and they drive you around the zoo.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more like you're inside.
That's so cool. It's like a safari.
It's like a safari, but for animals from my area.
Yeah. But it's very nice.
I don't remember what it's
very
called.
Original.
Yeah, it's really nice.
But Lisa asks you if there is a Starbucks in Seattle.
There are many Starbucks in Seattle. The very first Starbucks is in Seattle.
No way.
Yeah.
The first Starbucks was in Seattle?
Starbucks is a Seattle company.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So the very, very first Starbucks is on Pike Place. It's a street, and it's on the other side of the street from Pike Place Market.
Wow.
Which
is
you
know when
really old farmers market.
It was first opened?
Oh, good question. I don't know. I would need to look.
Well, maybe like 10 years ago.
No, longer. It's older than that.
It's older than that, but they have a really nice at Starbucks. They have a really nice frappuccino.
They do. I love their vanilla bean frappuccinos with coffee.
Yeah, I think my first carrot cake that I ever tasted was in Starbucks.
Ah, okay. Here, my mom is helping me. The Woodland Zoo in Seattle, Northwest Trek is the one Kendra is referring to with the tram. Okay.
Northwest Trek.
Northwest Trek. But what's Point Defiance? What am I thinking of for Point Defiance? Help me, Mom. I keep thinking Point Defiance.
Question. 1971. So,
and Lisa, Starbucks, 1971.
50 years ago.
50. Wow. I was going to say 30.
You're still in the early 2000s.
I am. I can't believe it's 2020.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
How time flies.
Believe it. Time really flies. Okay. What are some other questions I can ask you? In what's the name? Tehran.
You forgot the capital of the country I come from?
I learned today. I didn't know. Tehran. Am I saying it right? Tehran. Mm-hmm. Is there a waterfall?
That's actually a very good question. Is there a waterfall? It is, but it's not. There is a waterfall in Tehran, but it's not in the city. It's actually going like closer to the mountains
Mm-hmm.
that you can find it.
Find the
Yeah.
waterfall.
Yeah, but it's a very it's a very dry place. So we usually have the very tiny waterfalls. So it's not this big like Niagara Falls.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's
you
very
can
little.
imagine really tiny.
Little waterfall.
It's a waterfall.
Okay, my
I
mom
can
helped
create it
me.
myself.
You can create it yourself. Apparently, Point Defiance is in Tacoma, not Seattle. So I was getting confused.
Oh,
There's,
yeah.
I guess we have a lot of zoos in the state, I'm sure, but Woodland Zoo is in Seattle.
Did you live in other places in the United States?
I have, yeah.
Where?
Like for 1+ years, the only two places were Washington State and Georgia.
Georgia. Okay. So you basically
Opposite. Complete opposite.
Oh, why
corners.
Georgia?
That's where my mom went to chiropractic school.
What is that?
Chiropractic school. To be a chiropractor?
What is a chiropractic?
So hard.
I'm asking for the viewers.
Oh, okay. What is a chiropractor? A chiropractor, they how can I explain this in an easy way? They manipulate your back to make it straight. That's a good description.
That's a good description. There's also another name then, but
They're different
for the back.
Yeah.
And there's also another who focuses only on all the bones instead.
I think that is the osteopathy.
Our knowledge in medicine
is bad. I think it's osteopathy, or I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's that.
They focus more full body bones. I think a little more muscles as well. But
Mm-hmm.
chiropractic is the spine.
The spine. Okay, that's nice.
So
How many years in Georgia?
4 years.
4 years. Okay. That's nice. Completely opposite. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Now my dad lives in Georgia.
Mm. And your mom lives in Washington.
Yeah.
All right. So I can ask you the same question. Is there a waterfall in Seattle?
Probably similar to you. It's not in the city, but a little outside the city. But okay. I'm sure lots of waterfalls.
I mean, it's a very humid place, isn't it?
I think Bologna is more humid.
Really?
But we're very temperate. We just have a lot of rain, a lot of cloudy days.
Okay.
So it's better to say, because Washington, I don't know which is the best way. Probably like this. It's shaped like this.
Mm-hmm. Like a thumb. Like a fist. No.
Yeah, it's like a fist like this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, chiropractors. I know, Mom, but we have 1 to 3 students here. I have to say it in a very simple way. Anyways, Washington, there are mountains going down like right here.
Mm-hmm.
This is the side that Seattle is on. Seattle is like right here in the middle.
Yeah.
And here is the Puget Sound.
Mm-hmm.
So we have water that comes in right there. But once you cross these mountains on this side of the state, it's very dry.
Oh, okay.
And it's a lot flatter. And it's very extreme weather.
Sorry, the Southwest, the Northwest.
The north, or
sorry.
Yeah, the northeast of the state. The east side of the state, of my state. So you'll find really, really cold winters and really, really hot summers. But here it's really like temperate.
Oh, okay.
That's
why everyone on Grey's Anatomy always wears a leather jacket.
Why?
Because it's, temperate.
Temperate. I mean, it's just really cloudy and really rainy on this side because the clouds come in and they hit the mountains.
Mhm.
So all on this side, it's really green, and then this side, it's really dry.
Wow. Geography.
There's like everything in Washington. Desert,
Everything.
hills, mountains,
But
lakes, rivers.
Is there a carpet shop, Persian carpet shop in Seattle?
Probably.
Okay, well, that you ruined it.
I think yes. There is a Persian restaurant called Caspian Grill, which I love.
Caspian Grill, what's?
Caspian Grill. It's a Persian restaurant.
I know, but the name.
I don't know.
They could have chosen anything. Caspian Grill. Okay. You like it?
I love it. The one in Bellevue, I like.
Mm. And
There's
does
one in
it
Seattle,
have only meat? Grilled meat?
Me and my mom, Lisa wants, okay. Me and my mom like the chicken kebabs, but we're gonna jump forward on the slides. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. We wanted to skip this one. So we have some more. We're gonna try and use some plurals, Sahar. There is and there are.
Oh, good. So, shall I read?
Yeah, read the instructions.
Tell your partner about the things in your city. Use the plural forms of the nouns. In my city, there are 3 parks and there are 2 universities. There is 1 hospital. In my city, there aren't any museums. Park, train station, university, hospital, museum, castle, shop, zoo.
Good. Okay. So what city should I choose? Maybe Bologna.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier. In Bologna, there are many parks, a lot of parks. I don't know how many parks, but there is one very big park, Giardini Margherita.
Yeah.
There is how many universities?
Actually, the main university is the alma mater of Bologna, but there's also some American. There are also some American universities, like the John. Oh God, the Brown University, and
John Hopkins.
I think also John Hopkins. I wasn't sure, but also John Hopkins. But these are more private.
So a lot of universities. Maybe 3, but 1 main university, the alma mater.
Oh, sorry. There's also actually 5 because then there's
5
also
universities.
the Academy of Arts of Bologna and the dance.
The business.
Sorry?
What about the business one?
The business one?
Isn't there a business university?
You mean something like just studies economy and economics?
No, the business school of Bologna.
Maybe I'm not sure. But then there's also the other one is very famous. It's called DAMS. It's basically a university in which you study mostly theater and literature. A lot of important literary Italian people taught there. Okay. So, yeah, like Umberto Eco.
So a lot of universities, I would say, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, but there are 2 hospitals.
Even more.
The 2 main hospitals.
2
main hospitals. There isn't a castle. There isn't a zoo. There is 1 main train station.
2 train stations. 1 main, you're right. 1 main train
station.
And another one that is far from the city.
There's a lot of little ones outside the city. And there are a lot of shops.
There are a lot of shops.
A lot of shops.
In the big city. You chose Bologna.
I know. I'm most familiar with Bologna. I can't.
Monique tells us about LA, Los Angeles.
There's a magic castle in Hollywood. What? In Los
I think
Angeles?
she means Disney World, Disneyland.
I
No?
don't think Disneyland is in Hollywood.
Oh no, maybe it's not in Hollywood. No.
Hollywood
You lost me.
Studios, maybe?
The Chinese theater, but it's not a castle.
I would
Wow,
say,
our geography is not good, Kendra.
yeah, we're embarrassing ourselves just a little. It's okay.
Oh, Monique, what's the name of it?
One magic castle in Hollywood. It's a place where they do magic. Okay. All right. They do magic in a castle. A place where they do magic. Great. Maybe
We
it's
don't
better if I
have a magic castle in Tehran.
either. And it's called the Magic Castle. Great. Perfect. I know maybe better if I talk about Kent, the real city I'm from.
Yeah.
Because in Kent there are a lot of parks.
Mm-hmm.
There's one train station. There isn't a university. There is a hospital. There isn't a museum. There isn't a castle. There isn't a zoo. But there are a lot of shops. Yeah.
I think every city has a lot of shops.
Yeah.
At this point, it's impossible
Not to have a lot of shops.
not to
I
have a
agree.
lot of shops. Mm-hmm.
What city do you want to tell us about?
I'm gonna choose Verona,
Okay.
which is the city I lived in for 6 years. There are many parks in Verona. There isn't a main one. Very generally, there are a lot of parks. There is one main train station and then another one which is always in Verona, a little bit outside.
Okay.
There are a lot of museums, especially churches that have been transformed, that are not transformed, but that are also museums.
Okay.
Because in Italy, they have a lot of churches that can also function as museums. History of the art,
Yeah.
the religious art.
Yep. Exactly.
There is one castle. There are many shops. There is one university. I can't see the rest.
Okay. There is.
Oh, there aren't any zoos at all. And there are maybe 2 hospitals.
2 hospitals. Okay. For our viewers, tell us about your city. What is there? What are there? Let me think of another city that I can talk about. What other cities have I lived in? Maybe I can talk about,
Georgia.
but I lived there when I was like 4 years old.
I don't remember.
I don't remember. Maybe Maui, Hawaii.
You lived in Hawaii?
Yes and no, because I
You visited
worked.
Hawaii.
No, I worked on a cruise ship.
Wow.
So I lived on the ship and we traveled around Hawaii. But Maui, I could talk about. Or Honolulu.
It's the capital. So.
Yeah, Honolulu is a capital. There are museums.
Museums about what? Art museums?
Art museums. Also, like the Hawaiian heritage museums. There are parks. There isn't a train station. There are universities. I think 2 or 3, maybe.
2 or 3?
I would say, yeah, big universities. Maybe
Hawaii
2.
is small.
But Honolulu is on the island of Oahu. And maybe in actual Honolulu, there's maybe 1 university. But on the big island of Hawaii, I'm positive there are probably two,
Mhm.
but I could be wrong. But there is a university. There isn't a castle. There are shops. There are hospitals, and I think there is a zoo.
I mean, maybe they have animals that no, I don't. Maybe not.
No,
Foreign animals. I was thinking.
not so much. I'm sure there is an aquarium.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure,
in the
absolutely
middle of
sure.
the ocean.
Yeah,
I think the ocean for them is the aquarium.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I
Got it.
loved Hawaii. I could go swimming and see sea turtles.
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
it
cedar.
was great.
It's my
I
dream to
loved it.
go to Hawaii.
Oh, I love Hawaii.
Yeah.
Absolutely love Hawaii. There are lots of waterfalls.
I imagine.
Yeah.
California is quite close. I mean, quite close
Closer.
compared to where we are now.
Yeah.
Quite close to Hawaii. So I always see my cousins who live in San Francisco go to Hawaii every chance they get. Every chance they get. Very jealous.
They're smart. I would. I agree.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, describe another city, Sahar.
Another city would be Creazzo.
Okay.
I lived in Creazzo for 3-4 years, and it's in the province of Vicenza. It's
Okay.
20 minutes away from Vicenza. This is a very interesting town, let's call it. There is one park.
Okay.
There isn't a train station.
Okay.
There isn't a university.
Okay.
There aren't any museums.
Okay.
There aren't any castles.
No.
There aren't any hospitals. Shall I continue? There are 5 shops.
5 shops. Okay.
And there aren't any zoos. In that
Oh my
one
goodness.
park, in that one park that I used to go to, there were a lot of goats.
Goats.
So I would consider that a zoo.
It's a public zoo.
Public zoo, exactly.
Petting zoo.
Yeah, it was a very small town.
Okay.
But it had very good bars.
Ooh.
Yeah, the bars for breakfast.
Okay.
And also one very good restaurant that I remember. 2.
Okay, 2 restaurants.
But my favorite is just one.
Okay, favorite was 1, but 2 restaurants.
Yeah,
okay.
It was a very, I can't stress this, and it was a very small town.
Very small town. Yeah, it sounds like it. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
There's nothing in this town.
I have to use the negatives.
Yeah. My goodness. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. What I'm trying to think of one I could tell you about my university town, which was in Pullman, Washington.
Okay.
Pullman. It was on the east side.
Okay,
the
dry part of Washington.
Yeah, very dry. And there are parks. There are parks. There aren't any train stations. There is one university.
Yeah.
Because it was Pullman. There is a hospital. There is a museum.
That's good.
Maybe 2, but 1 for sure. Mm-hmm. There isn't a castle. There isn't a zoo. And there are shops.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many? Can you count them in?
No, there's a good amount of shops, but not a lot.
Okay.
Not a lot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was a small town too.
It was a university town, basically.
Yeah, it was a university town.
Created for the university, basically.
Yeah. more
So
or
it's
less.
like a college.
I mean, it's the second largest university in Washington, but the population is high only because of the university. So when the students leave for the summer, it's like a ghost town. But I just noticed the time.
Yeah,
We have got to say goodbye to our viewers, but we'll be back at 4.
exactly.
So-
Bye bye, guys.
See you soon.
See you soon.